Stage 1, pressing for flight. Launch drifter on countdown 1. We are go for launch.
Yes, sir. Reading you loud and clear. Clear. The clock has started.
The clock has started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome to Pressing for Flight, live from the Space Coast, where the schedule never holds. And we are on round 2 of our pre-DM2 show. With me tonight, I have Stephen, Mr. Kegel.
Hello, I'm longing for a launch.
We've got Matthew, Mr. Jordan.
Yo, what's up, guys?
We have Matthew, Mr. Cutshaw.
What up?
And Becca, Mr. Pinland.
Hello.
And last-minute guest, Seth, Mr. Kurkowski from the Ruds podcast.
Hola,
Welcome.
¿cómo estás?
I forgot to put my soundboard up.
You have time. Before we started, we were talking. There were lots of stuff that we were talking about. We're like, save it for the show. So hopefully we can remember all of those things. On the left side of the screen, I just picked kind of a random spot, sort of random, to just have something playing over here. This is where Bob and Doug are getting in, only to get back out. I feel for those guys, man. I mean, I know that they're pros. You know, they've done this before. They know. I'm sure they've been through many scrubs. But they had to sit up there, and let's see, when they came on the comms and said that they weren't going to be able to do it, Doug, he put up a fist, and it almost looked like a fist of disappointment. And so that is, I don't know, that's my indication that he is human.
Yeah, he's gonna go through they all gotta go through the process all over again.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
It was a cool process, though. How disappointed are you guys now? Because for me, a friend of mine asked me yesterday, are you super disappointed? And I'm like, sort of, but it's kind of neat that we get to see it again, because we saw the whole process, and it was kind of interesting how swiftly it was all happening. It's like once it started, once they came out, in their suits, or actually once they started putting the suits on, it just seemed like it was happening so fast, and that those 3 hours just went by so quick because there was just bam, so many things happening, rapid fire.
I don't know if there's going to be another that lead up to the point until they scrubbed was okay, we've had numerous showers. We've had so much lightning that I was watching from where I was. And then we had a tornado warning.
Oh, that's right. North of the pad, wasn't it?
Crazy day.
Just north of Playa Linda. I'm like, at this point, we have it has to happen. There's no better.
I was surprised it wasn't scrubbed earlier.
Yeah,
me too. Once we got through noon, I was like, okay, it might happen.
And they were talking pretty optimistically about the weather.
Oh.
But once they went ahead with that, and then they just kept saying, we think that we're going to have this little window, and there was a certain point where they're like, there's a cell that we're watching that's currently over Orlando, and as it moves towards the east, it seems like it's kind of dissipating a little bit, So yeah, it was just lots of optimism, and even right up to T-minus 10 minutes, it was, they were talking okay, we think we're going to get it. And then, and there was no talk about downrange weather. That was a big concern, because that was the big question mark to us, everybody, media and public. It's this is your launch forecast for right here at Kennedy Space Center, but we're not divulging what it looks like downrange. And actually, I think Dustin Smith put out a video, and he kind of went over, some of those downrange issues. So that was actually pretty cool. I hope he does that again. Maybe tomorrow he'll put out another video. So Dustin Smith, I don't know if you watch this show, but put out another one of those videos, because that was actually pretty neat. Here is sort of what we were dealing with. This is a 3-hour time lapse that I started at about 1 o'clock. So it goes up to about 4 o'clock. And these are the waves of weather that were coming through.
Just thinking, like, man, I should have done a
Yeah, it's
time lapse.
dark than light.
Yeah.
Dark than light.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like hope, no hope. Hope, no hope. Yeah. And then it kind of looks like it's going to clear, and then skoosh. So,
Well, if you
and then
don't
there
live in
was,
Florida, that's what it's like every
Yeah.
afternoon.
and then there was this like this band of blue sky out here to the west that looked like it was going to come straight over the pad just in time, but it did not. Oh yeah, I wanted to point out this was kind of neat. Matt he got out to the meetup spot to go to the press site kind of early, and saw like every officer in the Blount County Sheriff's Department.
I'm like, that's where all the sheriffs were.
Yeah,
Like, drive around, I'm like, I don't see that many sheriffs. There's a lot of local PD, but not a lot of sheriffs.
yeah,
And even after this whole barricade, all of them go past, it's maybe about 5-10 minutes, and then a whole nother group came in
Yeah,
right
they-
after them.
Why?
Yeah,
They're the president
yeah.
it was like,
for escort. I don't know. It seemed a lot.
That's the only thing I could think of. But like, I would thought like he's on a secured property. He doesn't probably need all those cops. But
yeah.
They
I
just
gotta,
do that anytime, anywhere. Every time I've ever heard of any president being anywhere, it's like the local law enforcement just comes out, and
Yeah, I was out by the
numbers.
VAB, and it was more than just local sheriffs. It was cop cars I don't even or motorcycles I don't know what county they're from. So they probably pulled from.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
different
across
areas.
several counties.
yeah, that
'Cause
makes
there's
sense.
like no way our county sheriff has like over 200 motorcycle cops.
Yeah.
People out
Not
there
that
like,
big of a county.
hey, you want to go do some crime?
yeah.
Yeah. So so what were we talking about before? Oh yeah, let's see. Let's talk about Air Force One coming in. Where was that at? Is it on my own? Yeah.
For all the people who got to see it, unless you were in the unlucky area where there was just clouds.
And for anybody who doesn't know, Air Force One is extremely quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, I was sitting in my car because it was raining off and on, so I was just sitting in my car and messing around on my phone, tweeting or whatever. And then Kevin Quick was parked right next to me, and he saw it, and all I heard was him banging on his roof. He's like, bam, 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 bam. I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, look. And then of course, I jumped out and got some shots. I mean, it's a pretty cool plane. It's one of those like to have a photo of Air Force One is just neat.
Yeah. I tried, man. I kept scanning the sky too, but I was so buried in my phone, I didn't even hear it. It went right over my head, and I didn't even hear it.
What?
have-
Matt buried
I have
in his
a-
phone?
I have like one picture of it, and then I couldn't find it after that.
Really?
Yeah, like it was just in and out of the clouds. And all it is just a shadow, pretty much of it.
Yeah, and
Greg Scott got a couple good ones.
Yeah, it's probably that it was overcast and they were fairly low-lying clouds, so it's probably just they stayed above the clouds until right at the last minute and then they dipped below.
Probably.
And come to find out, if you post a photo of Air Force One, you're going to get a bunch of people telling you
Yep.
how you should not have taken a photo of Air Force One.
You can't take pictures of the skies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got Democrats
Big
2020 says
planes,
nobody
can't do it.
cares. You've got this is, I guess they're just trying to be funny. Give Donald Trump a ride on the SpaceX Dragon and let him stay in space forever. Oh, very good, very good.
Well,
The
he said that
Victor-
about the media.
I like it.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Go back.
Yeah, right.
It's like, all right, tell us how you really feel.
Then not
Go back
news. Oh, it's not news. Okay. And then we've got the little bacteria emoji and the little face mask emoji and the Canadian flag. What? I don't understand it.
I was even getting all those for my pictures of the Air Force Two with the vice president on it,
Yeah.
and so it was just Air Force One. It was both of them. It was just like,
Did you get Air Force 2? Did you get the 737?
no, I got Air Force Two. So I got
Yeah.
Air Force Two in one of the other aircrafts. I just didn't
Yeah.
get Air Force One.
Yeah, supposedly the
Because-
other one was members of Congress. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
the
that.
757, I believe, is Air Force 2. That's like the longer one. It's a weird looking plane. It's like skinny and long.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of skinny, yeah. Whereas Air Force One is much beefier. It's a 747.
Oh, yeah.
with
I've been right next to
some-
that thing on the tarmac. is huge.
74 or the Air Force One.
Well, I've been actually on Air Force One. Yeah, 747s in general are huge, but the closest one I've been to was Air Force One.
Let's see. Clebby said there was someone that said put him, Kim, and Putin in space and make them stare at how pity everything is. It'd be amazing to put the presidents in the space and understand the scale and stuff. Yes, I agree. I wish that all political leaders of every country would get a chance to go to space, and not to leave them there, but to experience a thing called the overview effect, which I don't know. I don't know if you have to be up there for a long time, but I would think that pretty much anybody that sees the Earth from space is probably going to be affected by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Air Force One. Did you guys see Brandon win with this photo here?
Yeah, that's why it blew up, man.
Oh man,
That's
what a great
amazing.
job! Yeah,
That's
well
sick.
done.
That
and
photo.
his caption really nailed it. It was machine versus nature.
Yeah. He actually had Jeb Bush Jr. retweet that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Jib.
Way to go, Brandon. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's back up. Let's kind of, I don't know, go through the day. Maybe, bring up anything you were thinking about whenever all this stuff was happening. Oh yeah, like this.
The
Is that
lens.
what you're laughing at?
Yeah.
We were at the meetup spot, with same place that Matt took this video of all the motorcycles going in. And I got there and we were just hanging out, and we were with Kevin Quick, and there was this guy, I guess that he knows, and he's like, "Here, I got this camera for you." It's this old camera from like the early days of digital cameras. I don't remember what it was, but he brought out this teleconverter, and we were just playing with it. You know that thing that like in cartoons that they do, and like when you're looking through the
Oh my god!
binoculars, and they're looking through the binoculars.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Ready for an eye exam.
we're all
You look like
business.
a witch that's about to tell me how I die.
Sweetie. I was thinking ISAM 1 or 2. 3 or 4.
Steve-O, the Planners peanut guy
Yeah.
with the mask.
Oh, did you guys hear that the controversy has been solved?
For what?
They did have steak and eggs.
They have
Oh,
steak and
yeah.
eggs.
Mm-hmm.
That's some top secret info right there, man. I can't believe that Doug Hurley is. I hope he doesn't have top secret clearance, because he shouldn't be letting out information like that.
Yeah. Take a picture of that NASA plate.
Yeah. Well,
Worse than Air Force One.
revealing what they're having for breakfast. Do you guys know what that's from? Do you guys understand why this has been a joke the last couple days?
That press
No.
conference was hilarious.
Yeah,
No.
during the press conference, it was, what's his name, Keith Cowing from NASA Watch. He asked, I think somebody had asked what their breakfast was going to be, and then he asked, why all the secrecy? What with, why
Oh, NASA
don't you? Shouldn't there be more transparency? About a mission like this, like. We don't know what they're going to eat yet. Why so much secrecy? Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat, that like the guys got up, went for a little walk, some coffee, before they get suited up. Here's them getting suited up. Like everybody was just tweeting screenshots and everything from a lot of it I just kind of stayed out of, because everybody was just grabbing screenshots from the stream and tweeting it out. Like I was getting a lot of my information just from that, because it wasn't until like T-minus an hour or two that I got a hold of the phone number where you could just call in instead of having YouTube up the whole time. And it actually was kind of nice, because it wasn't just the chatter from the launch net. It was the entire broadcast, so you could hear the the commentators talking and stuff. So even though stuff wasn't being said on the nets, they were still kind of filling us in without having to have YouTube pulled up the entire time.
I really want a pair of those suits.
Yeah.
I want a ninja suit.
What was kind of neat is somebody was like, "Hey, they're on their way out to the pad," and so I had my camera just trained on the pad, and just kept looking through the viewfinder periodically, and at some point caught the 2 Teslas getting up there on the pad. Of course, these are kind of hazy photos. This is kind of kind of a glimpse into what a lot of our launch photos are going to look like because it's pretty. It's Florida, man.
Yeah, I'm not even going for launch photos
Really?
Saturday. Yeah, I'm just gonna do crowd shots. So
Yeah, you see
Really?
the crowd shots. You see the Max Muir Bridge. You got a picture of that?
oh my gosh.
Oh man, who got that?
Oh,
who
man,
was that?
I don't know.
Let's pull that up.
It's
I don't
some
know.
guy from Florida today.
Yeah.
Was it
Can't remember his
tweeted by
name.
Florida today?
No, his
no,
name was like
someone else.
Tim something from Florida.
Oh, you know what? I think Julia retweeted it.
Yeah, she did. That's where I saw it from.
Let's see.
Like I was focusing on doing a live stream, and I was focusing on I'm doing a live stream. I might as well get bad shots, but like it's just gonna look terrible from where I was. It's so far away and it's so hazy. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Kennedy Space Center opened up today, y'all.
There it is.
oh yeah, you see
Yeah.
the lines of cars trying to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sold out for Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Are
of
they doing
course.
launch viewing for Saturday?
I guess so. I mean,
I
I,
think
I saw that it was
Just
sold
from
out.
the visitor center, though.
Not from the Apollo Center.
Oh,
No, they're not. I don't think the
No.
buses are running or anything still.
I think they're not doing buses. I think they would have to do another like in the flight readiness review. They said that Delaware North was not going to bring in wasn't having any visitors. So I think they're tied into that now, not bringing anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that little area on this right next to I guess the north side of the Atlantis building where they have some bleachers and they put up a screen.
You still can't see the pad from there though.
But hey, you're gonna hear it and feel it
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
well
that's
once
true.
it gets past the trees. You'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
Yeah.
still close. You're what, maybe 5 miles, 6
Yeah.
miles.
Something
5-6
like that.
miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's that shot of the crazy, the crazy
God.
amount of people. It's insane. And it looks like there's cars like coming over the bridge from the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying.
They had cars
Trying.
there, and then they closed it eventually because there was too many. Like there are so many cars. And then
Yeah,
people
like you
started
could drive
walking.
through that.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of Disney back when.
Like, have you ever been to Disney during Christmas time? It's that. That's
No.
what Disney is during Christmas.
Or when the
time.
fireworks are going off, that's like the
Yeah.
whole park in front
New
of the Capitol.
Year's, New Year's, it was stupid packed.
New Year's is a gross day to go to Disney.
Unless you get there super early, you go to, was it not MGM anymore? Hollywood, the Hollywood one or whatever, the movies,
Yeah. Hollywood Studios.
and you park yourself right next to one of those mobile bars they set up.
Yeah.
You just
Drink
sit there
those
the entire
$9
time.
beers.
No, you gotta talk to the bartender, get to know him. They'll give you a few free,
Free beers?
a few for free,
Really?
a few maybe.
No.
Well, we got one or two.
Oh wow.
Harry said, let's be honest, who else teared up a bit whenever the astronauts walked out?
I could not stop pacing.
Yeah.
I didn't go much like where I didn't really move around much because we were in a small area. And I looked before the show. I did 10,000 steps yesterday
Yeah.
of just me walking
Just
side
walking.
to side.
Just
Like,
back
just
and
like
forth.
small circles.
Yeah, like if you look, if I would have had something to track my area, it would have just been the same location back and forth.
Yeah.
You make a path in the grass. Or...
Yeah, there wasn't much grass where I was, but if
No.
there was grass, it probably would have been all dirt by then.
Let's see. I'm trying to find this video. I'm pretty sure it was Jared Frankel that took it of the. Oh, there it was. Because he was watching from Kirk Park, Riverside Park. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, which
You have a tent?
not
That's
too
fine.
bad. Yeah, a lot of people had canopies out there, which is kind of smart because it was
Mhm.
rainy all day. But that's
Hey,
not too
off the
bad.
works for them.
Well, how long ago was that before? Because I think it was like during, like right beforehand, it got slammed.
Oh, this was after actually. Okay, this was at 6:40.
People probably walk. Well, I was talking with Dustin and asked where he was, and I think he was around the same area. He's like 1 hour beforehand, it got slammed.
Oh no, he said. Okay, sorry. That's
was
just
before
when he
the
posted
scrub.
it. He said before the scrub. So this
Yeah.
is just before the scrub. He just didn't post it until 6:40. So once again, one of our favorite places is a good place.
For now, Saturday's gonna be a different story.
Yeah,
Saturday's going to be absolutely insane.
Hmm.
because more people are off from work. Yeah, it's gonna
Mhm.
be crazy.
Ryan Bale got the same shelf cloud moving through that I got, but he got it over the VAB. That was a really cool video. Oh, and I just this doesn't have a whole lot to do with space flight, unless you're into time lapse or videos on Twitter. I finally figured out the best settings to post a video on Twitter. First of all, give up on that 1080p, because what and this is like Twitter guidelines. They say that the best settings are 720 and 5 meg bit rate. So if you're out there and you like posting videos to Twitter, but they always end up looking like garbage, then heed that advice. 720 and so that's 1280 by 720 is your resolution, and then 5 meg bit rate whenever you're doing your export. So there you go. There's a little shot of Bob and Doug in the crew capsule. All right, what were we talking about before that I said let's bring up on the show? Does anybody remember?
Our first one. That's all I remember.
No, there was
That's
the
all
other
I
one.
remember.
The name.
So I was talking about the name of the capsule. I hadn't heard whether they had announced the name or not.
Yeah. I think one of the things that is done in spaceflight is once a spacecraft reaches orbit, they sometimes give it its name at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of that? Does that sound true? Because I think I want to say I learned that from Kerbal. Like, because in Kerbal, once it's in orbit, like you can change its name, right? I guess
Yeah,
you can probably change its name anytime.
You can change anything anytime.
Well, then I'm not sure when I got that. Let's see.
I'm trying to think. Everything I've seen is all the orbiters were named beforehand. Cygnuses are named beforehand, right? And the Starliners are named beforehand. So I have no idea.
Well, I think that maybe that's something that they're going to save for once they reach orbit.
They'll probably either save it for when they reach orbit or like when they know they are going to be like heading that way. I don't know, man.
Or maybe when they land, and it'll be forever named as for cargo missions or something.
I don't know. I hope they give it away once they reach orbit. It's interesting. You guys want to take any guesses? Anybody in the chat? You want to guess names?
Guess names.
I vote they name it Steve.
Steve-O. Name it Steve-O.
No, that's me. I'm not saying Steve because it's my name. I'm just saying it's a great name.
Seth it just rolls off the tongue. It's one syllable.
You barely have to move your mouth to say it.
I agree. It's an easy
yes,
name
it
to
gets
say.
confused to do with Jeff and Steph and
Well, I would say Matt because we got you guys 2-1, but there's 2 Steves as well. So
it's very true.
So we name it Becca.
Becca, Mr. Penland, actually.
Zach Hall posted the
what is it?
X-812.
X-812.
Like, what?
X Archangel or whatever. I don't remember how exactly you're supposed to say it.
Oh, Daryl said they'll probably say it once they're off the pad. Because I don't know. When they're mid-flight, I don't think they're going to be spouting out names.
Once it clears the tower, they're going to start referring to his name.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, okay. Maybe like the launch director or the commentator or something
Houston?
will say, the name has cleared the tower.
Yeah. They refer to it now as SpaceX Dragon, which I feel like is just so much.
Yeah.
That's for mission control. They make things as short and as easy to say as possible. SpaceX Dragon seems to be like a lot.
Yeah. I think they should just call it Dragon. They don't need to call it Crew Dragon or Dragon 2. I mean, there is no Dragon 1 anymore, so they could just call it Dragon. I think at this point.
Yeah, it would be nice though. They did give it like some cool names beforehand, but it would be every single mission would be a new name. That would be a lot of names.
Yeah,
but I'm sure Elon has all.
Well, I mean that's historically what happened during, Mercury and Gemini.
Yeah, they had Freedom 7 and
Friendship 7 and
Friendship.
Yeah.
Don't forget Apollo as well. Apollo. They named all their lunar modules and everything.
What were the names
command
of
modules?
Gemini?
Yeah.
What about the Gemini? I don't remember any of the names from Gemini.
I don't remember any of the Gemini names.
I
think they may have stopped during Gemini.
Yeah, maybe they just none of them could agree upon one name until they had 3 people. Then they could finally agree upon it. They will always split decisions.
Yeah.
You do paper,
Stephanie,
rock, scissors for that.
Stephanie suggested Kevin.
Kevin Bacon.
I guess. I don't know. Said, Kevin, I drove down 528 around 2, and it was packed already from the beach all the way to I-95. With the
She was
time
talking to Kevin.
She was
Who's
talking to
Kevin?
Kevin in the chat.
Oh.
Kevin F. He said,
Oh, you know what? I like.
Well, I
Kevin.
think it's
Let's
still
do
a good
Kevin.
idea. That's a
I
good
think- I
reason.
think-
Let's name it Kevin, because I was driving down 528. That's all.
That entire sentence is the name.
Don't roll your eyes at me. Yeah, Stephanie rolled her eyes at me. Let's.
So sassy.
won't be the last time.
Okay, so let's see. What is our what's our weather look like for oh, that's
Crappy.
Is this the old one?
Same.
60% no go.
No, that's
Oh, that
that's
changed?
the old one.
Is that
No,
new?
no,
That's
no,
the old
no,
one.
that's the
No,
old
that's
one.
the
It's
old one.
60-60 still for this
Yeah.
weekend.
Did we post
Yeah,
it
it's
to-
60.
But we have low for recovery instead of moderate like before. And then we have moderate
yeah,
for
that's good.
31st.
Look, I mean, it was
Level.
60% for yesterday, and we still almost got the opportunity. The way I'm
10
trying
minutes.
It did change to 50 though
to,
for the launch.
Yeah. It went from 40 to 50 then, I think. I think it was 40 in the morning, wasn't it?
yeah.
It dropped to 40 in the morning, and then it went back to 60 by launch time almost.
Yeah.
The way
And
I'm
we were-
trying to look at it is, leading up to yesterday, it was like, okay, well, it's it was 60% at a point, and of course it went to 40, but we've still seen them launch with those kind of odds, and
Oh, dude, this
we
whole-
still can, just
Mm-hmm.
because it's basically the same forecast as it was yesterday doesn't mean that they're not going to launch. So keep your fingers crossed. We got a weekend of opportunities, and then I
Yeah.
think I heard that after that the next opportunities are the 3rd and 4th.
Yes, the
Yeah.
backup to the backup is 3rd and 4th.
It's like
Yeah, I mean,
Wednesday and
that's
Thursday.
Because I think they can't actually even get to the ISS at that point.
Right, yeah.
They won't be overhead.
Or Falcon 9 can't. Did you guys see that Tori Bruno tweeted something about their capabilities?
Yep, I was just reading that earlier.
Where was
Or he's
that?
flexing on us. Huh?
Yeah, he's totally flexed. He's like
know what?
101 launches.
If there's anyone who's going to be flexing, it's Tori because he's humble
Yeah. Oh, he did.
99% of the time. But when he's not humble,
Oh,
he's right.
Yeah, he did. He's like found water on the moon and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dang, Tori.
See, I must have not booked.
Who got him riled up?
I don't know. He was replying to Eric Berger.
Yeah. Let's see, where is it at? Well, the point was that
It's also been a long quarantine.
Yeah, he's going insane, and now he's just going to argue people. He's going to just go off.
the point was that the Atlas V is capable of having having like a 30-minute window on launch into the ISS because they can physically move Florida to the east and west. See,
Yeah, they even saw those thrusters. I think last week.
Oh, look at that.
they just move. They just move
Those
Florida.
those big thrusters are on just read the instructions. They didn't go and just read the instructions.
Right.
They went on Florida.
Yeah,
They
actually.
were like just outsource their transportation. That SpaceX.
Right,
Because
yeah.
it felt bad for them.
Because they have to do the instantaneous window.
It would be nice during hurricanes, just move us out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
And then all the people, all the 49, the 47 other states would be happy that we're finally detached from the from the continent.
Yeah.
They've all been wanting that for so long.
Yeah. They're tired of
Yeah,
us.
because we're the problem of the United States.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Well,
I mean, let's be
I
honest.
mean, come on. Do you drive? I mean, living down here in the south of Florida, I can see why.
Yeah.
Maybe just South Florida just needs to go off.
Astro Guy said in the chat, not gonna lie, you got me for a sec with that Florida joke. And listen, dude, you're not alone.
Tory Bruno
There's
figured
a
out how to
ball
move
joint.
Florida.
There's a ball joint up at Georgia that
Mhm.
it just pivots.
Well, Florida sits, really low. It's like basically like just above sea level, so they just got up underneath it and put a bunch of ball bearings underneath, like underneath all the swamps and stuff. And You know,
That works.
there's lots of caverns underneath Florida. You know, that's why we have a lot of springs and stuff. And so
They just get everyone to go to the coast and start moving their hands on the side.
you stick your hands like down on the ground and just start kicking.
Yeah. Down here in the south, we're using the right arm, you know, and then over on the Space Coast, they're like dog paddling like this, and then people on the Gulf side are kicking with their feet.
Yeah, right. Well, and unless you need to move it earlier in the window, and then everyone just flips around.
Yeah,
it's crazy how we get everybody in the state, anyone that's within a few minutes of the coast, they just go out to the coast and help ULA get the Atlas V off at the right time. It's pretty sweet.
They all jump with it at the right time, let go, and it starts flying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad we figured that out.
Yeah.
Rocket science. We figured it out. It's not hard.
Yeah. It has a lot less to do with
space is hard thing. That's not true.
Yeah, that's why I'm tired of people saying it, because space is not that hard. You just got to get a bunch of people involved. Can we have a diagram on that? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, let me
It's about time.
Yeah, sorry. It took someone in the chat suggesting this. Hold on, I gotta adjust.
I have been working on an intro for this bit, so
let's see. Let me move this up here.
I didn't finish
That's great news.
Yes.
All right. So here's the way I'm seeing it. So here is, okay, this is the water, or this is the ground, and then there's the. Oh wait, hold on. I got to use blue.
Oh, now I see what you're drawing there. I got you.
Okay, and so here's the water. Okay, there's water. All right, now back to.
Can we get a VAB scale?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's see. So
Gotta use a
so
banana,
much of them.
right? Gotta use a banana for
Oh, that's real zoomed in. I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, banana for scale. You can get a banana for the scale of the VAB.
Yeah. Well, here's if that's the VAB, then that's your banana.
Man, that's a big banana.
Yeah. And here's the meatball. Okay. That's the meatball on the side of VAB. All right, let's this is how the people do it. Okay, so they get in the water, all right, and they're just kind of, prostrate with their legs out like this. Right? And then they just start kicking, they start kicking with their feet.
It's half a doggy. It's half a doggy paddle.
Right. Well, they're anchored. Their hands are anchored. Their hands are anchored on the ground, see, and then their feet are out behind them, and then they just kick, and then it moves the state over this
What you
way.
don't know is that here in Florida, we have millions and millions of hand guards that you can hold on to along the beaches.
Yeah, you just got to dig a little bit in the sand under the water.
Yeah, they're all there. They're all there. They're connected through the state to the other side, so they don't go anywhere.
We should just train all the sea turtles to push the.
And the banana is for the potassium, so their legs don't cramp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Need
then
that.
here's a little sea turtle with his little flippers.
All the handles actually go to the VAB. That's why the VAB is still large, is because they needed all the weight to hold it.
Right.
So it goes.
Yeah, to hold it. Yeah, to hold it down. Because they
the VAB is holding Florida together right now.
Right. They put it on those bearings, but they put a few too many bearings down there. So they're like, let's put this huge building right here, and it'll help kind of weigh it down, because you don't want it to move too free.
We don't want to float away.
Yeah. You should see it around a hurricane, because then we got to get out there in the surf and just hold it in place so it doesn't blow away. We don't want it crashing into Texas.
I learned so much today.
Sure.
Okay, that was dumb.
No, that was genius. We just explained rocket science and how hurricanes affect Florida in the same sentence, pretty much.
Kevin wants to know how we tie the sea turtles together. Seaweed, I guess? Twine?
Pretty sure it's somebody's back hair, right? Like, isn't that what the
disposable plastic straws?
That's why we invite all the tourists down here. So we're collecting back hair.
Or you use all the 6-packs holders that are floating around.
Yeah, and if we run out of that, we use gaff tape, because everyone knows you use gaff tape.
Right. Harry said he's surprised that Florida doesn't get more earthquakes with all those bearings. Well, you're right.
No, the reason why we don't get that many earthquakes is we hold the fault together. We keep the earth from moving.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, where were we? Is there anything else to say about DM2? It's really all I want to talk about, but I feel like I'm running out of steam here.
No,
I've got
DM2
something to
was
say.
it was pretty awesome. What were you
I
saying,
just-
Becca?
I wish that I had gotten to experience any of this as it happened, because
You were just getting your butt kicked at work.
it was one of the worst days in my history. And I was keeping focused on the time all day and checking my phone when I could for updates, because I knew I would get important updates on my phone, and got to be around the time, and I put the stream on, and I was listening to it, and it was so bad. I am the boss, but my boss showed up to help. And when it got to be about the time, I looked at him, I said, I hope you don't get mad at me, but I am going to watch this when it happens. And he was like, okay. And he was like, what's so special about it?
No
I was
way.
like, you just
Oh,
don't know.
Is this Hassan?
No, no.
Corey?
And I said, what little information I felt I could confidently pass along about it. And then I heard very quietly on the stream, we'll keep the stream going while we wait for them to depart. And I was like, oh no, or to depart the Crew Dragon. And I said, oh no, I guess that means. And then I heard that it was scrubbed.
So he didn't know that there were astronauts on board, or
I
just
think-
didn't care.
I think probably more the latter. Just didn't really
Like,
care
what's the
about
big deal?
it.
We launch astronauts all the time. That's another misnomer, a local misnomer. You guys that don't live
When's
on
the next
Space Coast,
shuttle?
you'll be surprised how little people that live here, how little they know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And even down here, there's like a majority of people don't know anything about it, or don't care. Like there were people thinking that, like, wait, the shuttle, like, what do you mean? Like, the shuttle doesn't fly anymore? Like,
Since when?
I'm like,
9 years.
there was one person. I'm like, I know you guys launch astronauts all the time. I'm just wondering how many. Is it like 100 a year? Is it like 200? I'm like, oh man, that would be
like
nice.
How many times have you gone yourself? You talk about traffic.
Well,
how long did it take you to get home? Everybody.
2 hours.
Becca, I guess, can't play this game because she was. By the time you left, everything had pretty much calmed down, right?
But it 100% affected my day.
Absolutely,
100%.
Yeah. How long was it stop and go? Because our pizza store is right on A1A. How long was it stop and go, like right in front of the store?
Couple hours.
Yeah,
I think.
Man.
Oh yeah, Crew Dragon had to align and stuff with the space shuttle. That's why it didn't happen. They weren't aligned with the space shuttle.
They weren't aligned.
Did you not see that video?
No. What
Yeah.
Australian like morning news, and the reporter who was there I think she was at the press site or somewhere around.
No,
somewhere.
she was on A1A, I believe.
Or A1A.
Yeah.
And she was talking about. I think she mentioned that apparently it didn't happen. They had to align them. Like for Saturday, had to align themselves with the space shuttle.
With the space shuttle, yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe they have to rotate the Dragon to line up with Atlantis. Maybe there's something between the connection to the pad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be worse than the video that I showed with the news reporter showing the Starliner.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That was like a day or two before the launch, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna launch astronauts," and then they're showing videos of the Atlas V with Starliner.
Oh, okay, I saw that one. Yeah, yeah, it's close enough.
Oh, look,
Hi,
Carissa.
It has a pointy end.
Yeah, Carissa. She used to work at our store. Hi,
this was the second launch where I've had running with the cops. So.
Oh, really?
But not bad.
I was going to say,
not been bad.
Trying to commit some of that crime.
I've been recently. There's been something between me, launches, and police. So
every time.
Oh yeah, because the last time you were on the show, you were telling us about how you got stuck inside that park.
I got stuck inside a county park, and I was chilling with two county sheriffs that didn't even know there was a launch happening, which is pretty much that's how it goes when you're that far south of Titusville. No one really knows anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because the Brevard County is involved in like security and directing traffic and stuff.
Yeah, I think as soon as you get they mentioned like they're down in Point St. John, like the launch viewing is not as like popular in that area. It's mostly popular in Titusville or by the port, and that area gets left alone a lot. And so like they didn't even know it was a launch. But today there was, during one of the squalls, apparently there was people out on the was it the Banana River?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the one close to the mainland.
Yeah. Titusville. Yeah.
There's a people out there, and they call like they had like a distress call, something like that, to the Coast Guard. Coast Guard can't come out because there's lightning.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't take the boats out or the helicopter. And so we're sitting there on I have nothing written down from the owner of the property that I'm allowed to be there. I just have through other people.
Oh.
And they show up their lights, and I'm sitting like, well, there's probably at this point there's not that many people in the area. I'm like, well, we're gonna get kicked out. That's how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
No, they're just looking for these people on the boat, and there's this little black dot you can see on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
I just took my camera. I had the 400 with the 2x converter on it, zoomed in, and like, there it is. There's 2 people in a raft, one rowing, one waving American flags in the rain. And I have some pictures of it. I haven't posted it yet on Twitter. I'll post it after the show. But like, yep, that's probably the most American thing I think I can think of at the moment.
Yeah.
If I can.
Yeah. It's
So,
like the guy standing in the hurricane with the American flag.
Yeah, and as soon as he radioed that they saw him, it wasn't just one cop. And then we had like 4 or 5 cops, and one of them he must have been some chief or deputy chief because he had like 4 or 5 like stars on his collar.
Mm-hmm.
I was the big dog, and I'm just sitting there next to him, just talking, taking pictures. I'm like, if they're gonna be in by his lens, I'm taking pictures of this. Like, that was great.
Did you see that Elon yesterday? He charged up his Tesla and went down to Vieira to Five Guys and got a burger.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I wish I would have gone to Five Guys to put him down.
Yeah, I saw the video of the dude. The dude that I guess he talked to first. Apparently, a crowd gathered around him. But dude posted a video. He got to meet.
I guess that guy was charging his car, and then Elon walked over to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine how cool that would have been, man? Lucky guy.
That's pretty neat, man. It seemed like Elon was pretty cool with meeting everybody and talking and
It
stuff.
looked like he was chatting it up.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Well,
I'm surprised how you made it down there so fast. You could have made it down like that. That's like
That's a
a
good
very
point.
was it?
Yeah, with the traffic.
Yeah, because traffic they get on because that's the direction I had to go. Well, it took me. He must have been down there by the time I made it to North Titusville because I went from south-ish Titusville to North Titusville. Took us 2 hours, and we decided to take a bathroom break and snack break halfway through.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Oh yeah, we didn't even finish. Let's see. It took me an hour and a half to get from the Air Force Station to home, which normally that's 15-20 minutes maybe. Kegel, you live over near Starship. People kind of know where Starship is over in Cocoa, the defunct Starship. How long did it take you?
Not bad. Since I live around here, I took all the back roads to avoid US 1.
Yeah.
And then leaving the Space Center area was fairly easy. But I hung out for like an hour after the launch.
Yeah.
Not launch, but
we
the
have
scrub.
no back roads over here. And actually they had like if you're coming from, the north side of the port, which is how you get to the Air Force Station, I was thinking about getting off on the exit for the south side of the port, like where Fish Lips and Grills and all that stuff is. And I was thinking about doing that and then going over to North Atlantic and then getting over to Ridgewood, and for y'all that don't know, Ridgewood is the road that runs parallel to the beach, like right next to the beach where you get to all the beach access spots. And I was going to go that way, but you could not. They weren't even letting people get off there. It was like, if you're coming from 528 direction, you are staying on A1A. And then I'm assuming they were doing the same thing. And like, if you were coming from Jetty Park, you had to go south on North Atlantic and, go that direction, which I think probably made it not so bad. Like, yeah, an hour and a half to get home from there is pretty bad, but I bet it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, up in Titusville, like almost every single light had a cop there. Like with the controller controlling the lights. Almost every single one, even ones like once we finally got away from the traffic and we were cruising at that point with like, they still had cops at like every single traffic at every single light. And I'm just sitting there like, man, if I was a cop and I got one of these like further away from the city, I would be so happy. Like, oh, I don't have to do anything. Just sit back. There's no traffic. Got lucky.
I just remembered, Matt, you had a pretty cool opportunity after the scrub, right? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, Jim ended up taking us on to base. It was actually something that me and him we were talking about while we are waiting for the launch, and he was just like, "I'm gonna see what I can do for everybody." And I was just like, "For real?" Because I was explaining to him because we were talking about the history of the base and about Challenger being was Challenger or Columbia one of the ones that's buried in the silos in the ground.
I think it's Challenger.
It must have been, yeah. I always get them
They're both
confused
there.
all the time.
Maybe both.
One of
They're
them's
both
in the VAB and the other one. So they bury them so people can't like try to scavenge the parts and sell them on eBay and whatnot. They that's why they bury them in there. So we're just talking about that, and I was explaining to him how I've never seen any of this stuff. Like I've never been to 34, and I've never been a chance to just see base and and all the other stuff. So I think he took that as an opportunity and invited myself and a few of the other media guys, and he took us on a tour of the base. And this was one of the spots. So what you're looking at here on the screen is 34. This is where Apollo 1 launched from, or almost launched from. There was the cabin fire who took the lives of Gus and them. Very emotional place. If you've never been there, it was
Yeah.
pretty surreal.
I'm sure. Yeah, like it's like you might be having fun leading up to it, and then you get there and you think about what happened.
That is on the tour. That's like the down point of the tour when you get on there. Like you're like, oh, I'm on a launch pad. Also, I'm like, oh, it's this launch pad. Did you go to the benches they have there? The memorial benches that they have there?
Took pictures of the benches. Yeah. And then he took us over to the museum there on property, and I just took a picture of that just because they had all these bricks all over the ground that had like different names and stuff on them. So I just wanted to capture that. But and then he took us over to the museum, and we got to see I think it was Mercury 7, 8. So we were talking about Gemini and all that earlier. Well, that's the site where they launched all those missions from. And you go into like mission control and all other stuff, and it was pretty cool. We did get a chance to go by 36. We weren't allowed to take pictures, obviously, but
Blue Origin.
Yeah. A lot of action there.
a lot of action going on there. Like, holy smokes.
Mhm.
Can't really talk about it. Obviously, we can't take pictures. It is extremely forbidden to take pictures of 36. But they got a lot of stuff going on over there at 36.
Yeah, once they start doing bus tours again, you got to get on there and get lucky because I was on a bus tour and they did not tell us not to take pictures.
Well, it's kind of weird because once you're media, even if you're on a public bus tour like that, it's still
very frowned upon.
Strongly discouraged.
Yeah, I still never. I don't think I ever posted those pictures, but
Yeah.
a lot of people were taking pictures, and that is okay. That's a big area.
I think the idea behind it is their assumption is if you're media for this stuff, then people are watching you for that sort of information and that kind of insider stuff. But if you're just an average Joe or Jane, then you took a picture of some stuff, but you've got people aren't going to know what they're looking at, and it probably won't be seen by anybody media, and therefore won't be shared. And I think the idea is that if you're media, then people are looking at you for stuff like that, and they just don't want that stuff out there.
For those tours, they don't allow you. I don't know why because I've done that tour 2 times, I think, 2 or 3 times, and the other time, like they were very strict. Very, very strict of where you can take pictures. And then I do it the second time for my parents, and they could care less on what you took.
Yeah, right.
And they could also care less on where we went. There were places where we're sitting there and they're just like, you want to go here? Like the pad with the all the astronauts, like parking spots that are on there. All the Mercury 7 astronaut parking slots that are on there.
Yeah.
Only media usually goes out there because it's not deemed safe, I guess, for the building and the foundation or whatever for the public. And they're like, yeah, let's go down there. Why not? What? Don't tell anyone. Well, I'm telling everyone, so. Oh, well.
I mean, you could tell people that you went there, I guess, but not show them pictures or something. I don't know. But
that's a cool area as well.
There's a lot of cool stuff out there and a lot of cool stuff you can't share.
Yep.
Let's see. Something else I wanted to touch on before let's see. I don't even know what time it is. Okay, yeah. It's 10:50. So the Atlas V that will launch Perseverance has been raised onto the launch platform at Launch Complex 41.
Oh yeah.
So that's exciting. They're still working towards a July 17th launch. Of course, they've got like 2 or 3 weeks of a launch window, and that's gonna take precedence over everything when that comes. Hopefully, they just they get it up on the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a. It's a Mars launch window, and if you don't know, those only come around once every 26 months. Because Earth is on the inside track, Mars is on the outside track, and as they both orbit the sun, we don't even meet up every year because obviously when we come back to the same point the following year, Mars has moved on to a different point. So it takes 26 months for us to line back up. And also at the same time, anytime there's a Mars launch window, you know that there is a Mars opposition coming. So at the same time, around the same time that Perseverance is launched, it's also going to be a great time to look at Mars in the night sky because we're going to be at our closest point throughout the year to Mars.
We haven't figured out how to move Florida into space to give us
Someday.
better chance of launching the Mars.
We need to just put Falcon Heavies and Atlases and then Vulcans and Blue New
Every
Glens,
rocket
everything
ever launched
up under it, just up under Florida, and then lift it up. And
well, they have to do it. They can do it above, but they just attach the rockets to those anchor points that we have.
of course. Oh, I'm
For the
so
humans,
yes.
yeah.
I'm so stupid.
Because that's
I'm sure California will chip in for that.
Yeah, because then they'll get all our tourism money. 'Cause
Texas
everyone-
would too.
Yeah.
yeah. The
We'll be out here.
Disneyland will finally be a good theme park. to
It'll
go
be
to in
the
United-
Disney,
in the United
yeah.
States.
Yeah, they're like, we're the original. Yeah, but Disney World is better.
And now the largest in the United States because Florida's gone.
Florida's in space now. We're out there chasing Mars. Oh man, this is dumb. Oh, by the way, RocketShip arrived, and of course, my
Wait,
forgetful
what?
self. Yeah, RocketShip arrived this morning.
Yep.
Oh, this morning. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I seriously missed it again. Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
there Saturday.
I
Hopefully
did
it'll still be
too, and
there.
I had planned to go out there this morning and just totally forgot.
This ship has been eluding me for the past like a year and a half. I'm destined. The one time it comes down here to Port Everglades,
Mhm.
I'm in Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah, and there was I think Hawk was in Port Everglades as well.
oh, really?
Not that because when they were doing those contracts
Mhm.
while there was a lull in the launches,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and this was when I was also going crazy in quarantine at this point, and I'm like texting Julie like, give me a reason to go down. Just tell me maybe there's something on there that's space related I can go get pictures of. I'm
gotta
like
be.
30 minutes away. She's like, no, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Like, but just lie to me. Give me hope. Give me something to do.
Yeah, so these are Greg Scott's photos that I'm showing you right here. And also, I'm sure Kyle Montgomery was out there. Actually, I know he was. I saw some tweets
Yep.
by him. But I really like these shots that Greg Scott got. Way to go, Greg Scott.
And he's on the ball. He's always out there.
Yeah, he does great. Is there anything else? Let's see. What else do I have pulled up? Okay, that's their breakfast.
Virgin?
Virgin
Orbit?
that's right. Virgin Orbit.
Did you see they
make
posted
it.
video?
Yeah, I did. Let me find that. I forgot. That
They
that was a
cut the video
thing. Right before. I know.
right before. Oh,
I know.
so sad. I'm so
Let's
sad.
see. I think I can at least.
I hope one day when they're actually when they're successful, they post that like later on.
Yeah. Let me see. Where is their video?
Because I don't understand why aerospace companies, and especially launch service providers, are so they shy away from failure so often. They haven't learned from SpaceX that it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like people like it more when you show them failures because we like things blowing. Like we personally like to watch uncrewed things blow up.
Oh yeah,
Right.
we like
Oh yeah.
Like,
blow up. It's like psychologically we
yeah.
need to see that.
Well,
I think, except for DM2, I think probably one of the biggest or most hyped launches was Inflight Abort.
That's why people
Mhm.
watch NASCAR.
Yeah, we like to
for
see the crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not finding it on their Twitter account.
They posted. It's on their website or something. I didn't see it on the. I saw it on their website.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to.
I don't know. I think I might be able to find it. I saw someone post it in one of the various Discords I'm in.
What did I do? I thought I just saw it a second ago. Oh no, that's just a GIF. Well, I think the reason that they don't want to show the explosion has nothing to do with the space fans. It has to do with investors, because it might make investors. Okay. Oh, is it this one? Harry says it's the very top.
No, I don't, oh well.
Dipped out the ground equipment and we flowed.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
Okay, let's see.
I believe that's it.
Here we go. Yep, this is it. Drop.
Hey.
Ignition. Oh, look at how squirrely. Oh man,
it does not look like when you see that. Like, I mean, it's a new engine, a newer rocket, so maybe we don't know exactly what's normal about it. But I'm wearing the hat. I gotta say it.
Yeah.
But it does not look right.
No. Okay, and here's another one from the plane. Well, to be fair, they're igniting this engine in flight, so it's already got some aerodynamic forces acting on it, and then just the act of igniting an engine is a violent ordeal, and maybe they haven't quite characterized exactly what it does to its flight path, or how much it changes its position, its orientation whenever that engine ignites.
I don't know much about these rockets. Is it solid? Is it fuel?
It's liquid.
It's liquid.
So, so actually, I believe this was the first ignition of a liquid fueled air launch vehicle, I believe.
Yeah.
Pegasus is solid, and I'm not sure. I know there was a few. Scott Manley did a video on it. He did a video. There was a few before Pegasus that were like on the bottoms of like fighter jets. But I'm not sure those were solid but I believe this was the first liquid one.
Like if you, I'm sure anybody watching this has watched plenty of SpaceX webcasts, and when you watch the Merlin vacuum engine ignite, you can see that it kind of moves the stage around a little bit because it's a violent thing that happens. Whenever it ignites, and that the initial thrust isn't coming out perfectly, perfectly symmetrical. So maybe that's something that they just need to work on, figuring out. Then again, they're in space, so it's a little easier to control. Whereas, Virgin Orbit, they're dealing with aerodynamic forces on the rocket while it's trying to get up to full thrust. So that might be tricky. I hope
you also get in this video. You get a good sense of scale for the rocket. Like it's not Pegasus.
Yeah.
Pegasus is tiny.
Yeah, this thing's pretty big.
This is more like the size of Electron, which is still small, but it's big.
It's big. All right. Well, hopefully they keep at it. Obviously, they say that they will. This isn't going to be the thing that puts them under. Hopefully, they just now they have
Branson has plenty of money.
I thought that he sold a bunch of shares. Maybe it was just Virgin Galactic.
He sold Virgin Galactic shares to help the Virgin Airlines in Australia, I think, get back up and running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they keep going. They've got a lot more data now because all they had done before is testing on the ground and then just capture carry tests where they just went and flew around. And now they've got a lot more data. They can learn a lot. And hopefully figure out how to, and next time that they do it, hopefully they make it.
And I think they're doing it the right way. They've deemed it, I think, as a successful test, which it is just a test.
Exactly.
They deemed it, I think, as a success.
Right.
Yep.
All right. And the other thing that I just remembered is...
Oh, yeah. Start ship with his top hat.
Yeah, SN4 did a static fire test today. And Mary was out there, and NASA Spaceflight was covering it.
Methane, so I think it's
there
its
you
final
go.
days.
There you go.
There you go.
The beautiful voice of Crispy.
I know, man. It's so cool that he's
I
on these
love that
streams.
he's doing the streams now. He
Yeah.
is I love him. He's hilarious as well.
Yeah.
He is absolutely
he's
absolutely
cool.
hilarious.
Yeah, so there you go. And that is the second time with this specific engine. and the first time that they had a mass simulator on top. So
I really hope that's not the real mass simulator though for launch.
Oh,
Like for the first orbital launch.
Surely
Is that the
they'll
one-
use
But,
something
like,
cooler.
Is that when I saw a
really,
picture of like 2 big coils of steel?
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what they
Yeah.
yeah. I hope obviously you need to have a mass simulator that big, so maybe they'll use that. But I really hope they build like a cheap replica of a Falcon 1 and slap on like an old end of life Merlin on the
Yeah.
end of it, and be like, we put a rocket in a rocket, let's do it.
No, better yet, do a Delta Heavy. Yeah. Just what if they just bought a Delta Heavy from ULA, a real one? and put
I
it
don't
up
know if yeah, I don't. But
You're
there
right.
would be cool to put the models of like a Delta, the Atlas V, a Vulcan, New Glenn, like just the little models in there.
Oh yes, Michael in the chat just pointed out. Yeah, the FAA license just came out today. Yeah, they got their FAA license to do their hop. So that's exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So-
All the media from everywhere can send down to South Texas.
Yeah, right.
Yep. That's exactly how it's gonna go.
They're all charged for using their phones in Mexico while in the United States.
That's very true. That happened to me in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Do what?
So-
you connect to a cell phone tower in Mexico and they
If
charge
you are
more?
too close to Mexico and you don't like check that you're not roaming on your phone, you get charged international rates for calling a number in America from Mexico.
I think that's what happened. I think it's happened. I think to
It's
Chris
very
Lee
expensive
when he
too.
went down for the Starhopper hop, or no, for the I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was for the update, the Starship update.
I'm not even sure. I don't think I've ever seen a roaming indicator on my phone. I don't know what.
I don't
they
even.
look
Yeah, I
like.
don't even know.
No,
how
most
to
phones
figure it
don't
out.
have them, but if you start like jumping onto a network that's international, you will see it. It'll say, "Hey, you are international roaming. You are being charged a lot of money to use this."
Oh,
Yeah, and if you have an iPhone, it'll pop up and say "Welcome to whatever country you're going." Because I've gotten that when I've gone to Canada, trip through Canada.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
Welcome to Canada.
Oh, okay. Well, so at least you have something to tell you.
Well, you can. There's
Well,
a setting you can have it not do it right now. I have
Yeah.
international roaming turned off.
Oh, there
in
you
the
go.
settings.
Yeah.
So just in case, well, I don't really go anywhere.
Just in case you
well,
go.
last time I was on a cruise, I made sure I had that on because when you get the Bahamas and all that stuff, I don't want it trying to log in.
Yeah. Yeah. Smart. All right. Anything else, folks? Anything else we haven't touched on?
I think it's just hoping and praying for that weather to be well for this
Yeah,
weekend.
No
Yeah.
kidding. I mean, we got
Better weather.
two attempts this weekend. Hopefully, I don't have to mess with my schedule next week. Right, Becca?
Right.
All right. Well, that'll be a show. Thank you, chat, for always being there and chiming in. We really appreciate you. Thanks, Michael, for reminding us that the FAA license was there. Thanks, Harry, for suggesting the diagram. I think that turned out wonderful. We'll start making shirts here any day now.
Of that diagram.
Of-
Hopefully you saved it.
Yeah, I have been saving the diagrams. Yes.
Going on a shirt.
Thank you, Ask Their Guy.
Merch down in the description below.
Yeah, right. Okay, that'll be a show. Thanks, guys, and obviously, I should probably say that I did go live from the press site after several minutes of discovering that. So the way I've got it is I've got my old iPhone 8 Plus and or 8, I don't know, whatever, 8 whatever, and then I've got my 11. And the way I normally stream whenever I'm out somewhere is I do a hotspot from my current phone to the other phone. Well, that wasn't working, and so I ultimately had to switch to the 11 and just stream from that. And signal was okay; it was okay enough. But right about the time I started, Harry got on there. That's about the time they called a scrub. So I'm gonna try it again. Try to make sure that my primary phone battery is charged up because I had been draining it all day. I was actually worried about how much battery I had left. So I'll keep that charged up and I'll go live on it like about the time they start loading fuel, just to make sure that there's something worth seeing. And I know that you guys are going to have, the SpaceX stream going and maybe the NASA space flight and then Everyday Astronaut and stuff. So, I'm not saying ditch those in favor of this one because, I'll talk to you on the stream if you're in there in the chat, but I'm not providing like a show. It's more or less just a different perspective, So if you're on a PC, just have it open in another tab, just another perspective to have. And maybe I'll show you around the press site, show you just kind of what the layout looks like out there. Maybe I'll start a little early if I feel like, people are out and willing to talk. Maybe I'll go talk to some people, other people that are out there. But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And that'll be the show. Oh, and don't forget to watch Seth's podcast, RUDS. That's Rapid Unscheduled Discussion. Do you have an easy way for them to find you? Maybe just Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter, RUDS Podcast.
There you go.
RUDS Podcast.
RUDS Podcast. All right, cool. Yeah, play us out.
Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutting down.
Bam.